What is up, everybody? Olivia Moody here. This is FanDuel's Hurry Up, and I am joined by Tom Vecchio, FanDuel analyst, to talk a little bit about three teams that he has either making or missing the NBA playoffs this year. Tom, thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me. The NBA is a week away. We might as well talk about some futures. So let's jump in.
Absolutely. So the first one that I saw that you have is Hawks to make the playoffs at minus 122. Now, while I agree with you, I would love to hear your thoughts. This is a team we didn't get to watch in the bubble, so we haven't seen them play in quite a bit. So I want to know, where do you see the value in this team this year?
Yeah, so the Hawks are a team I think a lot of people are expecting to take a step forward this year, another year of development for Trae Young, getting John Collins fully into the lineup. Of course, he was suspended last year for 25 games. But more importantly, I think they made the right moves in the offseason, kind of shoring up their bench, bring in Bogdanovich from the Kings, bring in Danilo Gallinari, Rajon Rondo. But more importantly, if we look back to last season at the trade deadline, they traded for Clint Capella. Now, Capella was injured at the time, and he didn't play a single game for them. So now he's coming back into the lineup. He played the other two games, or the first two games in the preseason for the Hawks, already posted a double-double. They have the pieces, they have the star power, and then they have that depth with Kevin Huerter, Cam Reddish, Rondo, Gallinari. They have the pieces to make the playoffs, and I think the next team is where we're going to see them actually fit in.
Yeah, I agree. And I do think I'm excited to see how Rondo kind of takes that mentor role. He's got that vet status, and I think he'll be able to kind of mold that younger talent like Trae Young. So I'm very excited to see them play this year. Next, I see that you have the Indiana Pacers to miss the playoffs at plus 142. I also agree with you here, only because they say stranger things have happened, but I don't see that being the case with the Pacers after their season last year. Tell me, what about this team you see is going to keep them from playoffs?
So first off, getting plus money at 142 is great. Always like to see that the line sitting there. The Pacers, I think, are a good team. They're not a great team. They're a good team. And they have a lot going on, whether it's the new coach that they have, which can always throw a wrench in a or an unusual offseason that's not the full length. They have this, I want to say, somewhat of turmoil in the locker room. Oladipo, does he want to stay? Does he want to go? He's committed, the extension. And more importantly, they can't stay healthy. Whether it's Malcolm Brogdon getting hurt, of course, Oladipo, but even some of their role players, I'm going to say with Sabonis and TJ Warren, not being able to stay on the court for a full season. So we combine all these things, a shortened offseason, a new coach, there's locker room issues, the injuries. I just don't see them making the playoffs, and I think they miss it, and the Hawks kind of take their spot.
I like that you brought up TJ Warren. I think he really, at this point, is their only saving grace. He had a few MVP moments, in my opinion, in those few games that he played in the bubble, putting up 53 against the Sixers. But again, health is huge, and we'll see if he's able to stick it out and help the team make the playoffs. But I hope you're right, and I hope you get that great value in that plus money there. And last, you have the Suns to make the playoffs at minus 132. Tell me where you see the value in this team.
The Suns should be a popular option, sitting at minus 132. And we all know what they did in the offseason, bringing in Chris Paul. And, going back to the bubble, they went on that run. They won every single game, and they still didn't make the playoffs. Now, I think that they kind of should have made the playoffs. And it comes back to the fact that DeAndre Ayton was suspended for 25 games last season. Now, we got to think that they could have picked up some of those games, some of the wins during the regular season, and they wouldn't have even been in that position to begin with. So we have Chris Paul, we have Devin Booker, who's already star. They have some of the bench players that I really like, Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson. They bring in Jay Crowder. They're kind of another version of the Hawks, but in the Western Conference.
I love that. I love that you said overlooked. I am all about an underdog story, and maybe we will see that with the Suns this year. Tom Vecchio, thank you for joining us, FanDuel analyst, with his takes on who will be making the playoffs or missing the playoffs this year in the NBA. I'm Olivia Moody. This is FanDuel's Hurry Up. We'll see you next time.